We talk about each sign is broke up into 10 degrees. There's 30 degrees in every sign, 10, 10, and 10. Well, if you look at page 80, it has a description for each 10 degrees. So if you got planets in those 10 degrees, right? So and you're ascending and stuff like that. So for instance, if you're Aries rising in between 0 to 10, say your moon or Jupiter or something, or Venus is in this 10 degrees of the sign, that planet will take on some of the qualities of this 10 degrees. So that would be another layer that you would add to your onion of delineation, trying to figure out what this actually means to you personally. I have placement in Gemini within 0 to 10 degrees, and in Isabel Hickey's A Cosmic Science, it says, most restless and diffuse of the three deacons, strong tie with family and cling to ancestral halls because of insecurity and decisiveness. Most talkative if Saturn is not strong. Needs to learn to be quiet. And I have a planet there. Actually, it happens to be Saturn. And I did a podcast called Silent and Listen. There you go. And it just says, if Saturn is not strong, needs to learn to be quiet. Anyone who has anything in Gemini from 0 to 10 degrees, that applies to you. That planet. Or, if you have one of your angles, if you have like your ascendant, or MC or IC, or MC is midheaven, or your IC, which is the very bottom of your chart, and the descendant, which is very opposite of your ascendant in the 7th house, mostly in the 7th house. Well, it's going to be in the 7th. Well, yeah. His whole sign is going to be in the 7th house. Placidus, not so much. So, if you have something in Gemini within those 10 degrees, from 0 to 10 degrees, and when it comes to that planet, or that whatever planet it is, or aspect that it, placement that is also going to apply to that planetary energy, right? So when it comes to your Jupiter, you say that your Jupiter falls there, right? So now you have to look at, to get even more detail, you look at the house that the Jupiter is in. Then you look at the 2 houses that Jupiter rules, and the subjects and topics of those houses, to see what type of Jupiter strong ties, Jupiter strong ties with family that you cling to, that brings insecurity and indecisiveness with those subjects of those houses. Gemini has to do with communication, and Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini. So what's that mean? There's a planet of growth and expansion in the sign of communication. It's in detriment, and it controls 5th house topics and 8th house topics. So when it comes to 5th house topics and 8th house topics, how is your communication with inside those areas? Is it excellent? Is it a work in progress? Is it something you got to work on? This is how you self-study your own chart. It's how you take this information and figure your stuff out. All right? That's yeah. But this is, you figure out that planetary energy. Jupiter. What's Jupiter about? Let's find out. So this is the way you would use this. All right. Let me show you how to use this book. That's what y'all need. Y'all need a lesson on how to use this book, huh? All right. So, should you read it from cover to cover? Yeah. So, if you look on page 35, it says the symbol of Jupiter. Did you hear the book I'm talking about? It's called Isabel Hickey, A Cosmic Science. And I'm looking at the PDF too right now. But one of the reasons I was talking about it because I was looking through it and I was saying that I've been messing with traditional astrology for a little while now. I want to say at least 2019. About 2019. When was COVID? 2020? Yeah. COVID was 2020. Yeah, so I've been doing messing with traditional astrology since 2019. But, I had been in astrology years before that. I was doing modern. I was taking a modern approach. And I also like to dabble with evolutionary astrology. Be honest with you. I'll be totally honest with you. My entry door into astrology was the evolutionary kind of, the evolutionary doorway, because the first astrology book I ever had was Jan Spiller's, what's it called? Jan Spiller's, I think it's called Spiritual Astrology. I still got that mug. Don't this look like my very first astrology book? The book look like it been through it, huh? But yeah, this is my very first astrology book. Jan Spiller and Karen McCoy, A Spiritual Astrology, A Path to Divine Awakening. So that was my very first astrology book. Right? And as you can see, it's a spiritual astrology. Spiritual astrology. So, which is, yeah. So my entry door into astrology was more on a spiritual thing, and then I went into modern astrology, which is more psychology based, right? Because, be honest with you, not everybody want to talk about that soul level shit. Hey, bro, I just wanted to I just wanted to talk about if I'm gonna find a lover. I ain't want to talk to you about my soul. You going too deep. I just wanted to know if I'm gonna get a job. Why are you talking to me about my soul? So yeah, not everybody trying to get that deep in that spiritual. Hey, I'm just trying to make it through the day. I'm not trying to work on nothing on the soul level. You ain't trying to work on nothing on the soul level, huh? In my Erykah Badu voice, I guess I'll see you next lifetime. Alright. So, but, shit, this 20, damn. God damn. It's 2025. God damn. So I've been messing with traditional astrology for going on 6 years. God damn. Woo. God damn. So yeah, that's what probably. It's been 5 years, 6 years. 5 years since I've really been in that modern astrology bag, like on a daily basis. All right. So when I was reading some of this shit, right? So how would you use it? We at page 35, you know what I'm saying, looking at Jupiter. It says Jupiter. What is Jupiter? Jupiter represents the principle of expansion, aspiration, and inspiration. Superconscious self, understanding, prosperity, and abundance, faith and optimism, religion and philosophy, friendliness. Jupiter's all that. Now all right. Now you gotta look. Then you look at the sign, and then you gotta add that sign flavor to those keywords. So those keywords with whatever sign you got Jupiter in. So with this, you could just, all right, you see what Jupiter, then you would scroll down to chapter 17, page 172. Jupiter in signs and houses. And then you find the sign that your Jupiter is in. And you remember those keywords from them first keywords from Jupiter. And then you add what it says with this Jupiter. So you got Jupiter in Taurus, you got Jupiter in Gemini, you got Jupiter in Sag, you got Jupiter in Scorpio, whatever your Jupiter is. Then, after that, you look at the house in which that Jupiter is in. If it's in the third, that those Jupiter keywords and that sign that applies to Jupiter is going to apply to the topics of that house in which Jupiter is in. But wait, that's not it. There's more. The show must go on. Then Jupiter, in life, you know what people like to run from? Responsibility, accountability. But guess what? In astrology, the universe says, hey planet, I don't care what condition you're in, what environment you're in, what you got to deal with, all these people coming, all these other planets coming around messing with you. I don't care. You still responsible for your rulership. You are still responsible for the affairs that go on in those respected houses. Because Jupiter rules 2 houses. Sagittarius and Pisces. Now, you take those Jupiter keywords and you take that Jupiter keywords and put it in that sign, flavor, sauce, barbecue sauce, dipping sauce. Take that Jupiter and put it in that sign dipping sauce, like a nugget or something, and then a chicken tender. Too bad I don't have a paid endorsement. This would be a good chance to put in a shout out for one of those chicken tender places. Anyway. So, yeah, you take it and you dip it in the flavor, the sign dipping sauce, and you look at it, and before you eat it, you gotta make those other 2 houses take a bite, like a mama bird bringing food back to the baby birds, the 2 birds in the nest chirping away, chirp 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 chirp. And then the mama bird comes and regurgitates the food into the baby bird's mouth. Yeah, well, that Jupiter, who is in that house, in that sign, although it's doing this thing over there, it's still a mama bird and gotta go feed those 2 baby birds, Pisces and Sagittarius. And those baby birds don't want to hear, hey, Ain't no food out there. Hey, I got beat up by another bird. I got robbed on the way back to the nest. They want their food. So, when it comes to your Jupiter, right, in your Sagittarius and Pisces area, if it was a baby bird, what kind of food is your Jupiter regurgitating to those two areas when it comes to topics? Those topics. Are those topics well fed, or are they malnourished? You say malnourished. Well, how can I tell if it's malnourished? Well, that's what conditions are about. Detriment, like Jupiter's in detriment and Gemini and Virgo. That's what fall is about. You know, Jupiter's in fall and Capricorn. You know, that's what aspects about. Do you have stressful aspects, squares, oppositions? Or do you have supporting aspects, sextiles, trines? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a blending of an energy with, is this Jupiter near something? All right? What would that be like equivalent to? Y'all sitting down there and you got one plate of food and you got to share with another planet. Is that planet friendly with Jupiter? Is Jupiter willingly sharing the food or begrudgingly sharing the food? Is he sharing the food with an enemy, or is he sharing the food with a lover? An enemy, he might be just giving them bare minimum. If it's a lover, you know, y'all might be sitting there eating spaghetti with one end on this end, and y'all sucking it until y'all kiss each other. Is that your Jupiter with that planet? You know the long noodle? So, not a book. It's just a grid. It's one grid. There's no book. Rulership is in one grid about that big. There's no book. So, that's how you can go about self-studying, trying to figure out what the hell your Jupiter means for you in your chart. That's how you do it. Now, the question is, do you want to take the time to sit there and go through every planet and all that stuff to figure that shit out, to figure you out? How important are you to you? I think you're better reading you than somebody else would be. You can figure you out better than somebody else. All you need is the information. Know how to use it. So I could bring you to an area. I could bring you to an area and all of that and tell you, but you know, you going through the information, you sitting back reflecting, you doing that on your own, you'll get a whole lot deeper than, you know, but that takes time.